An erudite lawyer, Barrester and Lawyer Ejimakor, on Simon Ekpa's show makes interesting revelations, informs and educates people on the insecurity and as it borders on the problem that Fulani herdsmen are creating all across Nigeria. He cited different quotations in Nigerian constitution, different criminal codes, and even in the Sharia law that criminalizes a herdsman and forbids movement of cattle from one place to another, even to the point that it empowers you to kill a herdsman that threatens to take your land by force or grazes upon your crops and farmlands by force. But what bothers me is how the southern lawyers know all these things and yet they don't team up together to defend their own people. They don't seem to be doing enough to defend their own people when things are like this. Please, we'll keep bringing you interesting videos like this and we'll keep updating you as it happens globally, especially as it borders on Nigeria's disintegration and Biafra and Oduduwa emergence. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell. Great thanks to our returning subscribers and also to our intended subscribers. May Elohim bless each and every one of you and cause you to increase in all aspects of your life. Don't forget to support Sunday Igboho, support Nnamdi Kanu, support Eastern Security Network, support Amotekun, and support every activist that supports the disintegration of this contraption. Thank you and God bless you.
From the legal standpoint, as you requested, first of all, what is causing all these problems is open grazing. Let's just get to the root of it. Let us get to the root of what is causing the problem, because, if you take it from the top, you're never going to have a solution. Let's take it from the bottom up. Is this herdsmen issue? Because under the excuse of grazing cattle, you have a multitude of strangers, most of whom can't even speak English. A lot of northern leaders, even the President Buhari himself, at some point confirmed that substantial number, maybe vast majorities of these herdsmen are not even Nigerians. So suddenly you wake up in your community and you see this multitude of strangers. Well, I'm not saying people shouldn't move around. The Constitution, of course, guarantees freedom of movement to Nigerians. If you're a Nigerian, you have freedom of movement. But it's not an absolute right. When you make these movements, you have to consider the sentiments and the laws and the traditions and customs and conventions of your host communities. Okay, let's take the law, for instance. From northern Nigeria, where the Fulanis, who are citizens of Nigeria, are coming from, you have the penal code. Of course, you have the criminal code for the south and penal code for the north. Section 342 of the penal code of northern Nigeria, which is applicable to all the states of the north, makes it a criminal trespass for someone to breach your land, to come upon your land with intention to intimidate or annoy you. It's a crime. It's called criminal trespass. A lot of people believe that trespass is common law tort, that is civil wrong. Yeah, that is true. But it has been codified as a crime, even in northern Nigeria, from where these herders are coming from. So the question is not really of whether there's an existing law. The law is extant, is there to deal with situations like this. People just can't come upon your land, even with goat, pig, anything that has the capacity to destroy your crops, has the capacity to cause disquiet in your backyard. Those things constitute instruments of annoyance. Those things intimidate people. Farmers go to farm in apprehension of coming upon a multitude of well-armed herdsmen with hundreds of cattle breaching on their farm, eating their crops and trampling. This is what Section 342 of the Criminal Code of Northern Nigeria, of the Penal Code, Nigerian Penal Code, applicable to Northern Nigeria, this is what it contemplated when that section was codified. There are other laws. What about malicious destruction of property? I come upon your land, even if I don't come with cattle, and I come with machinery or diggers or some other instruments of destroying crops, and I start mowing down your yam, cultivated yam, cassava, corn, everything, I am committing an offense. It's malicious destruction of property. It's a crime. So regardless of instrumentality of that crime, in this very situation of herdsmen, the instrumentality of the crime is cattle. Cattle can be destructive. It can cause annoyance. It can intimidate in large numbers. Even when you are driving in traffic and you suddenly see tens, 20s, hundreds of cattle breaching the highway, you now drive in apprehension. That's the first thing that comes into your mind. You wonder whether they are going to use their antlers and horns and, come through your windshield and rip your eyes out, or whether they are going to cause a major accident or something. So this kind of mirrors the sort of feelings a farmer gets when he sees these cows and their headers coming upon his property. Whether it's a farm or whether it is his homestead, the effect on his mind is the same. So it is ab initio a criminal offense to do that without permission. The only thing that does not make it an offense or that takes the crime away for it is when you graze with permission. And that permission can be two ways. Either get the permission from the occupier of the premises, from occupier of the land, the owner of the land, or you get permission from the state governor. Under the Land Use Decree, now called Land Use Act, all lands in the Federation of Nigeria are vested in the hands of the executive governors of the various states. So if you apply for whatever purpose to the governor and express an intention that you want to graze a certain forest, and he gives you the grant, then you have the leave and license to graze. There's no governor that is going to give you grazing rights over somebody's farmland. That would be very crazy. That would be illegal. It will go against the sense and objective of the Land Use Act. The governor will, of course, give you some forest to graze if he so wishes. But most modern governors shouldn't do that either. They shouldn't do that because we have come full circle in the breeding of cattle that the best way to do it on, the economics of scale favors ranching everywhere in the world. Why are we going back to the 15th century? So if I'm a governor and you ask me to give you a grant occupancy of some forest to graze, I'll say no. If you want to build a ranch, come to me, I'll give you allocation to build a ranch. But I'm not going to give you allocation to roam the forest and graze and sleep in the forest. That in and of itself is intimidating enough. Okay, besides the governor, you come upon a community and you want to graze in that community. What stops you from going to the traditional ruler of that community and say, hey, I have 1,000 heads of cattle and I need to graze on your land? And then the community head will summon his people and they show you where you can graze safely and peaceably. Why can't people do this? This is the root cause of the problem, my brother. If we get to it, the problem is solved, because the violence starts once the headers come upon these properties well armed and ready to graze by force. They don't graze by permission. What do you expect that person to do? He's going to resort to self-help, right of self-defense. Because when the government fails to act, You are telling the citizens you're on your own. You don't have to, pick a bullhorn or take a microphone and announce to Nigerian citizens and say, hey, as against you and headers, you're on your own. The government body language since 2015 is telling Nigerians you're on your own. There is no single violent or terrorist headsman that has been convicted in any court of law in Nigeria. Check it out. I'm not even sure that any one of them are being prosecuted, but they have hundreds of IPOB members in various courts of the land being prosecuted for merely expressing their right to self-determination. So when you do stuff like this, discriminatory enforcement of the laws, you're picking sides and you're telling those people that you're discriminating against that, listen, I cannot protect you. You're on your own. So they resort to the right to self-defense. If you notice, I called it a right. It's not a mechanism. It's a right recognized under the law. You go to the Criminal Code of Nigeria, Nigerian Criminal Code Act, that applies to the southern states, and the Penal Code. I cannot give you the sections right off the top of my head, but any lawyer out there listening, you can check it out and give us the section. It's there. In both dual legal systems, you have the right of self-defense of yourself, of your loved ones, and of your property. So if a headsman is upon your property, grazing upon your land, and his cattle is mowing down your crop, and you ask him to stop, and he begins to attack you, Nigerian law gives you the right to attack him back with equal little force he's using. If he's using AK assault rifle to be shooting at you, the law says if you have AK assault rifle, go grab it and shoot back. If you're using den gun, use den gun. If he's using machete, you use machete. If he's using his fist, you use fist. Equal measure, equal measure for measure, an eye for an eye. That's what the law is saying. Of course, as a human being, your first instinct will be the instinct to escape. But what if you can't escape? But if you escape, where are you running to? Why would you escape from your property? So that is what is going on here. It's like the chicken and the egg, which one came first? I say, well, the chicken came first. It's not a puzzle. It is the open grazing without permission that came first. That's what's causing the problem. If you put that one aside and say it's no longer legal to graze, cattle rearers, you need to conduct your business like everyone else. If you're taking cattle from Sokoto to Enugu, you load them up on a truck. And when you get to Enugu, make sure you are going to a ranch. You are not letting them loose on the highways, on the crop fields, or in the forest. And then you tell people, listen, you don't live in forest. Only animals live in forest. Human beings don't live in forest. Come out of the bush, introduce yourself to the community, get a tenement, rent somewhere, buy somewhere. Let's see your face. Get a ranch. That is what is going on here. Nobody is asking anybody to leave. They're asking the criminal elements, the terrorists to leave. And these northerners that are defending them, you're telling us they are foreigners. At the same time, you're defending them against your fellow Nigerians. It's an oxymoron. It's a paradox. It doesn't happen. Why would you defend terrorists? What they are doing is wrong. You know, you shouldn't do that. So if people begin to conduct their business normally, whether it is cattle, piggery, poultry, whatever, there's not going to be any problem. So that is where the problem is coming from, because there is a very significant amount of anomaly in how cattle business is being conducted in Nigeria. And then you have these people saying, well, it is the custom of the Fulanis. Well, Nigerian custom says that any custom that is repugnant to public policy is null and void. That very much was what was enunciated in 1969 by Justice Adewale Thompson.
Yes.
that, fully falls into the purview of what we're talking about today. The case was before this court, because a headsman or a herder breached upon a farmer's land, and the matter went to court. And the herder was claiming, well, it's my custom to graze from place to place. The justice said, no, it can't. That custom is annoying, it's intimidating. It's uncivil, it's retrogressive, it's medieval. It does not sync with the custom of your host. What kind of custom will allow you to come with cattle, breach another man's property before he opens his mouth? Your cattle has consumed his crops, and next thing you start attacking him. So Justice Adiwele Thompson said, no, he can't do that. The custom is repugnant to Nigerian public policy, and therefore he struck down the customary right, the so-called customary right, to graze. So, my brother, this is really the crux of the matter. So people should just stop pretending, because it's like the presidency of Nigeria is looking the other way, and even the kitchen cabinet. I mean, look at what happened a few days ago. There's a shake-up in northern Nigeria, a sheikh, an Islamic sheikh. His name is Gumi. I mean, he was negotiating in full view, in plain view, with the militants, with the terrorists. That's what they are. Calling them bandits is like downgrading them to something less vicious. These are vicious, dangerous terrorists with blood on their hands. When the sheikh is talking to them and is now making demands that the federal government should settle them. What is going on here? And then you are telling people in the south, in southwest, in the former eastern Nigeria and former western Nigeria, no. You got to leave them to graze, and they can kill you. You see, that's what they are telling you without saying it in so many words. But the body language is that you must allow them to graze. You see, there's no way grazing can be done in peace. It's not possible. The only way grazing can be done in peace is when it's done with permission.
Exactly.
And to permit someone to graze is extremely difficult. It's a very hazardous business, capable of destroying a community, capable of taking human life. So it's something that needs robust, muscular government intervention, but that is lacking right now. So why would you blame citizens for taking steps to defend themselves when you cannot as government?
Thank you very much.
For now. Yes.
Thank you very much, Barrister Aloy. That is an in-depth analysis and in-depth commentary from the legal perspective and from the law point of view. Now, I like the fact that I'm very, very sorry that you are not hearing me. Like, you have to put your ears very close. So can you check your volume?
Yes. My volume is on the highest.
So do you have earphone? So you don't need to, come close to the phone.
Well, okay. Talk. I'm going to crew myself. I think your face is a bit far away from your microphone. That's what the problem is.
No. My microphone is very close to me.
Okay, I can hear you, Simon. Just keep talking.
All right. Okay. So now, I like the fact that you have presented this thing, very objectively. But let me answer some of the questions, because you said you don't know why the government are not enforcing these laws, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now let us go to the Declaration of 1989. Are you aware? Do you know about that?
Well, there was an Islamic conference in Abuja where an intention was expressed to advance the cause of Islam across Nigeria. If I may add, you see,
I can put it on. I can put the resolution on the screen, and we can read it.
No. I am aware of what you're talking about. I think it's a whole, it will take a whole textbook to explain to people what has been happening to certain sections of the country since 2015. The declaration you're talking about pales in comparison to a certain declaration Mr. Buhari himself made in Washington, D.C. at the Washington Press Club Center. I was there. He said it. It's there. You can Google it and give it your audience. But everybody knows about it. He said he's not going to treat those who gave him 97% vote. I mean, those who gave him 5% vote, the way he would treat those that gave him 95% vote. It's a declaration of war against Nigerians. Your president declared war on you because you gave him 5% vote. That's more dangerous than even the Abuja Declaration. He wasn't the one that did it. But this is your president saying, I'm not going to treat you the same way I'll treat the others that voted for me. He did a declaration on civil war. I'll call it a low-intensity civil war being conducted against a certain section of Nigerians just because of the way they voted. So everything that is happening is keyed into how a certain section of the country is perceived by the presidency. It's not the other way around. I have had people saying there's some hatred for the presidency because it's Fulani led. I mean, hatred from the former Eastern Nigeria. No. The former Eastern Nigeria voted for Shagari. Shagari was Fulani. The former Eastern Nigeria voted for Yaradua. Yaradua was Fulani. So I really don't know why they are saying that. It is the presidency itself, the sort of policy it's conducting, the policy of discrimination against a certain part, and a very important certain part, the breadbasket of the federation. Listen, Simon, a few days ago, I think it was 3 or 4 days ago, there was a tweet I made about the $308 million Abacha loot that was recovered from the state of the Channel Islands of JC. It was widely reported by BBC and Yahoo News, and coming from the voice of the man who recovered this Abacha loot for Nigerians, the Swiss lawyer. He said the Channel Islands of JC only agreed, they used the word only, agreed to return that $308 million on the condition that a portion of it will be applied to funding the second Niger bridge. Of course, there were other two projects there, but they singled out the second Niger bridge. They made it a condition. The reportage of the news used the word condition. The Nigerian government, they said only. And that was when they agreed to return the money. We did that. And lo and behold, there is this section of Nigerians, characters, I don't know where they came from. They descended on my Twitter handle. You know, trolling me, calling me all kinds of names. Then I gave them the other one. When the president of Nigeria asked the World Bank to concentrate on the north, because they were asking why would the Channel Island of JC get involved in Nigerian domestic public policy. I now told them why. And everybody shut up. Because the president went to World Bank and said, concentrate on in the north. And the World Bank found it funny. Why is this president telling us to concentrate in a certain section of his country? And incidentally, that's where he came from. You see, so this is public policy that has gone berserk against a certain section of the country, and it affects every decision that is being made in the villa. Whether a certain section of the country deserves protection or not is influenced by bias against that section. Whether they deserve a place in the security leadership of the country is influenced by bias, discrimination, and nepotism. So this is what is at the root of the problem. So the declaration you're talking about, which goes to the issue of Sharia, of course, it's there. But you see, now that you're in governance, why are you bringing all of that when you know that Nigeria is a secular state? So this is what is causing these problems. And then you have people who are supposed to have a very good understanding of the law, and they really don't have that understanding of the law. So when you say it, when you propound the law and publish it, instead of trying to understand where you're coming from, they begin to attack you. Okay, take for instance, the law on self-determination. A lot of Nigerians, including those that lead us, don't know that self-determination is guaranteed under Nigerian law. It's protected. It's, you know, they tell you, oh, it's African charter. No, Nigeria domesticated it in 1983. So it became a Nigerian law. You go there, it's in cap A9, Laws of Federation of Nigeria. You go to Article 20 and Article 1 and read it. People have the right to self-determination, but when they do express that right, you call it treason. That means you don't know the laws of your nation. You are the one enforcing the law, but you don't know the law. You call it treason, and either you hold them before courts or you unleash the army on them. So this is what is going on. So for as long as we continue this way and we refuse to do the right thing from the very top, you are going to continue to have a disquiet in this country, and there's nothing you can do about it. Human beings love freedom. The spirit of freedom is like a body of water. It has quite a force. It's a force of nature. You can't stop it. So you can only stop it through justice. If you give people justice, well, they say, okay, fine. I can afford to give up a little bit of my freedom because you gave me justice. That is what is happening in the United States. We copied their constitution, but we're not implementing it the way they are implementing it in the United States. You know, in the US, they curtail some of your freedoms in return for welfare, justice, and fair play. So they tell you where there are some things you cannot do, but there are things these other things you can do without any let or hindrance. So you got to balance it out. So when you try to put people in a box where you are serially denying them justice, they are going to break loose one day, and you are not going to be able to catch anybody. Thank you, Simon.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And that's exactly what we have done. We are breaking loose, and they are not going to catch us. Now, thank you.
Like that expression?
Yes, that's exactly what is happening now. And you know why I make reference to the 1989 declaration is because this is that the content of that, the wordings of that declaration has been implemented completely. The issue of putting the Muslims in a strategic and in a strategic positions has been implemented 100% in this regime. And then there is something that people don't know. So when you see the Fulanis killing people, it is not just about the grazing. It is not just about cows. It is about the implementation of 1989 declaration, followed by the 1990. Now, there is something that people don't know. Barrister Aloy, do you know something called? Yes. Do you know something called sukuk? Sorry.
The what?
There is something called sukuk.
Okay, sukuk.
Yes, sukuk. You know about it, right?
Yeah, it's some kind of Islamic funding, right?
Yeah. Do you know what has happened in Nigeria? You know, a lot of people don't know what is going on. Do you know that part of Nigeria road now has been taken over by sukuk? Are you aware of that?
I'm aware. When I apply the highways, I see some construction work going on, and I see a signpost that says sukuk funded.
Good. Now,
yeah, sukuk.
Now it is the implementation of the same 1989. So, you know, people should begin to pay attention and don't overlook the 1989 declaration. It is the implementation, and the only people that could implement it is this particular government. Now, I am going to bring the sukuk now to the screen. One moment. Now, I am glad that you acknowledge the fact that when you drive on the road of Nigeria, you'll be seeing this signpost. Is it the same signpost? Barrister Lloyd, did you see the signpost? Is it the same signpost?
Yes.
Good. Now, a lot of Nigeria don't know what is going on here.
I can see it.
Yeah, what is going on in this? What is going on in this sukuk, or what is the sukuk? The implementation of the 1989 declaration is that, you know, they are going to take over Nigeria through hostility, through terrorism, through open grazing, and every other things that follows. Now, what is happening here now, for people that know, we are going to do a very big exposition on this particular sukuk. Now, what they are doing now is that I am going to bring the agreement. I'm going to show you now the agreement of this sukuk. The agreement says, when the government cannot refund this money, the property in which the money was approved automatically becomes the property of the people that now funded that particular project through this sukuk. And who are there? Saudi Arabia. Now, what it means here is that as we are talking about Fulani, we are talking about Fulani not taking over your land. Your road already belonged to Islamic State. Because the loan that was taken to build the road was so huge, on purpose, was so huge, and they will not be able to pay the money back. Now, this thing says that if the government refuse to pay the money or unable to pay the money, automatically this road now belongs to Islamic State. What are you going to do? So we need to, so Barrister Lloyd, I'm gonna bring the document, like a little bit explanation about the contract, the wording of the contract, content of the contract, and what the contract say, because Nigerians don't know. So when we are focused on Fulani, these people already taking our road, because they will never pay that loan. And the loan, like I said, the loan was taken on purpose, and very huge loan. So people are seeing this sukuk funded by sukuk. They don't know what is going on. And Ebonyi State today, every property, every infrastructure that is being built in Ebonyi State is on loan. It is not free of charge, on loan from sukuk. So what it means is that the entire Ebonyi State is owned by Islamic State. Now, let me bring it, because as I told you that whatever we're going to do today is not our opinion, but it is going to be evidence-based, as usual. One moment.
Yes. Simon.
Go ahead.
Let me say this. The concept of Islamic banking or Islamic finance is something that perhaps I'd like to talk about another day.
Yes,
it's a very
okay.
complex issue. I think
it's very complex.
This whole thing started when Sanusi was the governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, when they decided to establish Chase Bank in Abuja. So it has a history, a checkered history. I think it's a topic I'd like to handle another day, because it's a little bit more complicated than something that can be handled right now.
Exactly.
What I'd like to comment on is the impact of all of this on our Nigerian constitution. Nigeria is a secular state. It's declared there in black letters. It's a secular state. So whatever the federal government is doing, it must make sure that it falls under the purview of this secularity. So if the sukuk is violative of the secularity of Nigeria, then it shouldn't have a place in our society. Do you understand what I'm saying? That is
exactly
as far as I can go. But you see, this is a government that has been in serial breach of the Constitution since 2015. If you go to Section 214, subsection 1 of the Constitution, it says that there shall be a police force for the Federation of Nigeria. There shall be only one police force, and no state shall establish a police force. But yet, at least 12 states in northern Nigeria have established their own state police. It's called Hizbah. They established their own police. But the Constitution says they shouldn't. And you're not doing anything about it. It's tantamount to secession. It's violation of the Constitution. And guess what? 2 days ago, this Hizbah police, the state police, arrested a federal police officer for buying beer or drinking beer somewhere in Kanu. That's number one. Number two, the Constitution says that appointments to federal offices, especially in security, should reflect federal character and should not be dominated by officials from certain section of the country. But this very government since 2015 has been doing exactly the opposite. A certain section of the country or certain sections have been stubbornly excluded from the security leadership of Nigeria and from commanding heights of the federal government, especially in oil and gas, where even that those two sections, the former Eastern Nigeria, is the mainstay. They are laying the golden egg. They are the breadbasket of the nation. But since 2015, you excluded them from leading the oil industry, and you're concentrating the leadership in a certain section. That is a flagrant violation of the Constitution. You know, at the beginning of this show, I told you I'd be coming from the legalities, from the legalities.
Yes.
So that's where I'm coming from. So you're looking at so many situations where this government since 2015 has been engaged in systematic breach of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That is my problem. Okay, look at somebody like Yele Sowore, publisher of Sahara Reporters. They have him in court for treason. But the man you call Buhari committed treason, I think, in 1983. A high-ranking military officer overthrew a democratically elected government. And Nigerians later forgave him through an indemnity act that the military itself wrote into the Constitution. It's possible for anybody to try him. But at least, if you're a man of conscience, you shouldn't be trying a civilian for treason just because he dared to organize a few people for a protest in Abuja. How can these people sleep at night? So this is what we have as problems in this country. If you don't address them and address them quickly, you're going to have very big problems in your hands, even before the nation breaks up, because it's really heading to breaking up. That's what is going on here, because nobody is going to accept the overlordship of one tribe against or over the other in this country. It's impossible. Not the Igbo man, not the Yoruba man. Nobody will accept it. It's impossible. So since the government is really centered on creating some kind of an atmosphere for a certain section of the country, ethnic group, to be supreme masters of the land. Oh, come on. It's impossible. So it's leading Nigeria to one destination only, which is to break up. So instead of stoking all these things and more of stoking violence and pushing the country to a precipice where you have an implosion, why don't you get people together and say, hey, let us have a referendum and see who wants to stay and who wants to get out? Why are you afraid of a referendum? Is it because you think it's going to be carried? Is it because you know you are doing the wrong things? Or for what? Referendum is not illegal. Why are you afraid of it? If it's illegal, it wouldn't have a place in the Constitution. It was referendum, otherwise known as plebiscite, that created the Midwest of Nigeria out of former Western Nigeria, I think in 1963. It was referendum that brought the former Sadano province of Cameroon into Nigeria, what we know as Adamawa State today, and Paso Taraba. And that's, if you didn't do that, Atiku, who says he wants to be president in 2023, will not be running for president of Nigeria, he'll be running for president of Cameroon. Because this section of the country was part of Cameroon, I think, until 1961, October. I'm not very sure about the month. So it's referendum. It's also called plebiscite. And it was the same measure through which a certain section of Nigeria went into Cameroon. Nigeria used to have a political party called NCNC, National Council of Nigerians and Cameroonians. When that section of Nigeria went into Cameroon, they didn't change the acronym. They retained NCNC, but they now changed to National Council of Nigerian Citizens, led by Zik. People should know this. Nobody was killed. Nobody had to die. Cameroonian army did not massacring people because of referendum on Nigerian army of the time. Why is the present regime, why does he see red once you say referendum? Referendum is legal. It's constitutional. It's a political process through which you can determine the willingness of certain parts of a society to belong to the whole. They do it in Europe. Scottish referendum is somewhere around the corner again. The last time it was done, the independence request or referendum was defeated by about 5. If it's carried now, then the Scots will become independent. The British Army doesn't have to go and kill all of them for that.
I think we can't hear you again. Is it the network? Is it the network? Pastor Lloyd? I cannot hear you again.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yes. Again, I can't hear you. Again, I can't hear you again.
You can hear me now?
I can hear you, yeah.
Yes. So the gist of what I'm saying is there is nothing wrong with referendum. It's not illegal. It's not unconstitutional. And there is nowhere in the Nigerian constitution where you have a provision that says that if you demand for referendum, you're committing a criminal offense. It's not in the Nigerian Penal Code. It's not in the Nigerian Criminal Code either. It's a political process that requires people to say, that's all. So nobody is committing an offense requesting for referendum. Pure and simple. It's an expression of self-determination that is also guaranteed under your own laws, laws of Federation of Nigeria that I had given before. So these are the things, these are the issues that I like to talk about. I'm sorry if I disappointed you, being very legalistic, but you see, special counsel to the indigenous people of Biafra, or
yes, I know.
I was going to say the Indigenous People's Republic of Biafra. I was, wow. That's Okay. So as special counsel to the IPOB, I think it's my duty to go that way so that those that have questions in their minds as to what is legal or what is not, would have answers to their
Exactly.
questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Barrister Lawyer.